G'day team. Today I want to talk to you about if you're looking to grow your business, you need a strategy. And this sounds so simple and almost silly coming out of my mouth, but I'll give you some context. Just had an amazing boardroom group training session. So we had what's called a hot seat with ended up being three of my amazing clients, three directors in the business sort of jumped in, was interviewing one of the main directors in the business about really their journey over the last period and sort of growing from 4 directors working out of someone's basement, so to speak, through to 3 offices and about 5 million in revenue now. And so we like an amazing discussion. And I guess one of the reasons I like to run hot seats with my boardroom clients is that it's nice to be able to pick someone else's brains who's done that, been there, going through the same journey. And even if you're, quote unquote bigger, you've got a bigger business than someone else, there's still stuff from that particular person's journey and what they've been through that is different to yours. And everyone always leaves with kind of ahas and takeaways in terms of what they learned from my clients sharing. So an amazing hot seat session. But the key takeaway was that growth requires strategy. And, my client made this comment that it was like, anytime that we set plans or set our goals and set out a bit of a path to get there, we always achieved it. But he said the problem was that it just took us 3 years in between setting goals. And so there was periods of like insane growth because they were sticking to their growth plans and their growth strategies and had basically an actionable plan that they could tick off and work towards or work against. But then they would they'd hit those goals and they'd always achieve them, but then they forget to reset them and forget to redo the goals and redo the strategic planning and that sort of stuff. And so like this stuff, it's rudimentary, but it's so important. And I guarantee that you're not doing this. Like maybe you get together once a year and do your strategic planning in terms of where you're taking the business. But how often do you revisit that? How often are you checking against those goals every month or every 2 weeks? Are you constantly checking in with your strategy and making sure that what you're doing is aligned with that strategy? Because it's very easy to do strategic planning and quote unquote tick that box and then put it in the top drawer and you never see it again. But what are you doing on a daily and weekly, fortnightly and monthly basis to constantly rebase and recheck against those that strategic planning that you did? Because a lot can change in 12 months. And if you're not checking back against what you said you were going to do, you can very quickly and very easily go off the tracks. And so my client made a comment about how, he's like, it was amazing. Every time we set goals and we had an action plan, we just achieved it. But like I said, the problem was that it just took us 3 years in between setting goals to kind of rebase and redo it again. And so I think the big takeaway for me is this stuff is not fluff. It's not just crap that coaches and business leaders and stuff like that talk about in terms of setting your goals and that sort of thing, because there are a million things that you can do with your time every single day. But how do you know that the stuff that you are doing and the opportunities that come to you every single day are the right opportunities to say yes or no to? Or how do you know every single day that the work that you're doing is moving you towards your goals? And if you honestly can't answer that, it means that you're not doing this. Like I said, setting your strategic plan once a year and then putting in the top drawer is not setting a strategic plan. It is putting some words on a page, but not actually actioning it and following through with it or on it. And so if there's one thing that you can take away from today's training or today's video is that the more that you can get really clear on where you're going with your business and the more that you can regularly check in and revisit where you're going with your business. And I'm talking weekly here in terms of just checking in. How are we going? What's the new initiative? What are we working on? It doesn't take long, but it means that you're never too far away you're never going to get too far off track if you do get off track. So for me, that's the main takeaway. It was an amazing hot seat session. Awesome to hear from my clients. Amazing to see their journey and what they've achieved in such a short period of time. But I think the takeaway for me, and I want you to have the same takeaway, is that hard work only gets you so far, and it's about having a strategy. And if you really want to grow, having a strategy, knowing where you're going, having a plan in place, and then making sure that every week, every fortnight, and every month you're revisiting that strategy, because that's what's going to keep you on track. All right, that's it for me today. Have an amazing day. And if you'd like to keep doing this journey on your own, that is totally fine. We have heaps of free resources to help you continue this journey on your own. But if you'd like to join us in Boardroom, be surrounded by the community of amazing business owners, shoot me a message. Let's have a chat about how I can help you build your business faster. Have an awesome day.